Hey everybody, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. I hope you're all doing well on this fine day or evening, night, whatever it happens to be when you're watching my video. Yeah, back for another one so soon. Go figure. I don't normally do that, I promise you. So if you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll find something you'll like, you'll dig, and you'll stick around. All my buddies there in the VC, you're returning, as I've said ad nauseum, I'm sure, but I have to say it. I really do appreciate you all stopping by and continuing to stop by and watch my content. You know, for better or worse, it is what it is. So yeah, that saying that's been said to death. But yeah, I'm back for another one here for another member of the vinyl community. So many threads going on, and they're all good threads. I was just saying to Brian over at Embryonic Robot that there are a lot of threads going on, but they're all really good threads. Oftentimes I can kind of just, you know, get some of my own stuff done and not worry about some of the threads going on. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it just says more about me right now. I feel like doing the threads. They're kind of easy, aside from putting the records back and whatnot. And but that's fine. I love talking about the records and the music. That's what we're here for. So the one thing I want to say, I see I got written down on my notes here. I better say off the top before I forget. My last video, I was shouting out some channels that inspired me for music I hadn't heard before or had heard and dismissed, and so it's in my collection now. One such guy was Mike over at Hub Tunes, and when I was doing the video, even after I post it, shame on me, sometimes I don't watch them right away, and I realized I said Brian in the video at Hub Tunes, and I felt awful. I apologize to him because I do know it's Mike. I've been subscribed to his channel for a couple of years at least, so I've watched many of his videos, so wanted to get that out of the way and make amends to that. And then we'll say cheers, everybody. So like I say, I'm back for another video, so let's wet our whistle and get going. And the video I am back for today is a thread. It's for Trini. I've been subscribed to Trini's channel for a while. I have to disclose I haven't watched a hell of a lot of your videos, Trini, but I've been subbed. I just like to support people. Doesn't mean I'm going to watch everything, like seldom any of us do, I suspect, unless you're on here all the damn time. So, and I'm not. So yeah, Trini over at Trini Metal Grooves. If you've not been over to Trini's channel, he's celebrating 200 subs. I see he's surpassed that now. He's up. Who am I kidding? I do it every time, don't I? Yeah, he's 209 now. So go over and be the 210th, and then onward. Go give him a sub, check him out. But yeah, he started a thread in recognition of reaching that milestone, which is a great milestone. Congratulations, Trini. I know most of us know that feeling. You know, you started a YouTube channel, and at least speaking for me, and I can say just from watching others, it's something I don't think many of us expect. A lot of people will tune in and start watching, but to get to those milestones is pretty awesome to see and be part of that. So I've been subbed for, I am one of those 200 subs that you were celebrating. I've been subbed for a while. So I'm going to pull up the criteria here, what Trini wants us to do, celebrating 200. Welcome to my first thread. So it's also Trini's first thread, folks. You'll be celebrating 200 people who have graciously taken the time to check him out and support his humble channel. That's awesome. Good stuff, Trini. Yeah. So the questions he wants us to address is show your second, 20th, and 200th album in your collection. So this would be a good time just to scan around a little bit and see that I've probably got at least 100 to 200 records that I have not even filed yet. And then I have another, I wonder if I can zoom that thing around here to maybe a little unorthodox, and my chair is squeaking like hell there, so I apologize, but that's what happens when you're trying to deal with the camera. I accidentally hit the pause button. What the hell, I'm not shooting again. So I've got that little shelf over there. It's a four square K-lac thing, one of those IKEA or whatever they are. So I've got that almost full, plus my regular shelves. But that one in particular, the reason I was pointing that out is that's almost full, and I haven't cataloged them properly yet. So they're not in alphabetical order. So I only went with these albums that I do have cataloged and in order. So that being said, it's the second, 20th, and 200th album. So that's the first criteria. Second one is show two bands or two members have solo albums side projects, or guest appearances. And then the third criteria is show 2 bands, past or present, you'd like to see live. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that. There's so many, honestly. And then finally, shout out 2 or more channels in the BC. That's easy. That's a no-brainer. I can easily pull off some channels off the top of my head that I really dig and like to support. The only problem with that, as I've said before, is I feel like I'm leaving some out that I really dig and want everybody to support as well, equally. So let's get going. I'll start with my second here. Did I actually put them in order? I believe I did. Yes, I did. So this first one that I'm showing, my second in the collection, it's debatable. It could be the first or second, but I went with it because both of them are by 10cc. This is their greatest hits from 72 to 78, released in 1979. And, you know, it's probably all the 10cc I need, to be honest with you. Even the other one I have. I spun it recently, and thanks everyone for standing by, even though in your world that was like a flash. But yeah, the other one I have is Deceptive Bends. For some reason, I could not think of the title. I was seeing the album cover, which, I mean, the Bends, for those who scuba dive and deep sea, whatever. Yeah, that's 10cc. And I have this. This is an old one. I've had this for a long time. It's on the old Philips label. Anyway, here I am going off again. As I start talking records and music, I think most of us share that as well, for better or worse. But anyway, I do have that one. I listened to that one recently. I could probably purge that one. It's okay, but yeah, this is probably all I need. So that's the second in my collection. The 20th one, and again, if I had everything cataloged properly, whatever, this may not, no, I'm certain it wouldn't be my 20th, but right now it is. And it's AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video. So yeah, 1988. I know this is not a popular one, and it's the last AC/DC that I purchased. I purchased it back in the day on cassette. Razor's Edge came after this. This is the last one with Simon Wright. And this one and Fly on the Wall never really sounded like proper AC/DC to me without Phil Rudd. But I'm a huge Phil Rudd fan, and I've often said on record, Flick of the Switch is my favorite Brian Johnson album, and that sound of Phil Rudd on there. It is Phil Rudd. I know some people out there thought it was Simon Wright, but he was just joining them on the tour for that Flick of the Switch tour. And then he, on subsequent albums, Fly on the Wall and this one, he appeared, and then he would leave. And the Razor's Edge after this, I can't really get into either. It doesn't move the meter. But this one, to me, is still a good AC/DC album. It's not on par with their older stuff. Certainly not the Bon Scott, which is untouchable to me. But it's a good AC/DC album. It's not a great AC/DC album, but it's a good AC/DC album. In yours truly's humble opinion. That's all this ever is. Next up, my 200th. And this is a ripper, this one. Again, my opinion. But yeah, The Chemical Wedding, Bruce Dickinson, amazing album. And the last one he would do before going back to Maiden. Adrian Smith is on here as well. But yeah, this is a fantastic album. It's got that blue, they say it's blue and brown vinyl. Blue, kind of looks orange to me, but they call it a brown. But yeah, fantastic album. It's a real rocker, this one. I mean, Bruce Dickinson's solo stuff is hit and miss. I like it all, personally. But some of it is definitely moving the meter harder than others. But this one, on the Air Raid label, you know, funny enough, you know, Bruce being nicknamed the Air Raid on Air Raid Records. Yeah, 1998. Yeah, the last one before he went back to Maiden, him and Adrian Smith on there. Great album. And then what is the next one? I just said that. Show 2 bands where 2 members have a solo album, side project, or guest appearance. Man, oh man, I didn't want to put too much thought into this. So several of these I already had pulled, so I just went with them. So I'm going to go with the Runaways. And if you know this album, you know the members of the band. You likely know where I'm going with this. And it was just, they're low-hanging fruit. I fully admit. I already had this pulled for my last video, but of course, the amazing Lita Ford. And yeah, one of my favorites, actually. One of the first records I ever bought on vinyl, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Amazing. I love rock and roll. I like pretty much anything she does. And thanks to other fine members of the VC, I've been giving Lita another chance as well, because I did tune out after a while. But it's good 80s hard rock metal, if you will, but certainly what we call metal back then. So those two I went with. And then the next one I went with Black Sabbath. So I chose a Dio era Sabbath, but I could have chosen, an Aussie era Sabbath. But so again, for me, in my wheelhouse, something that's fairly low hanging fruit. And of course, you got one of my favorites that he did solo, rest in peace, Ozzy, Diary of a Madman. And then the other member, which happened to be a vocalist as well. So maybe I'm cheating a little bit. I don't care. I mean, I'm here for the support, man. I don't. But it is two members of the same band, Dio and his solo debut. And for those who are maybe uninitiated, of course, he did his Elf stuff and Rainbow stuff as well. And I just pulled that one to show. Well, I didn't pull it. It was already pulled. That's why. It's easy. Next up here. So those are the two. Had two members from two bands. Solo albums. Show two bands, past or present, you'd like to see live. This again, I'm having a tough time with this because there's so many. My instinct is to go with some bands from the new wave of British heavy metal in the early 80s, because a lot of those bands, most of us, the majority of us, did not get to see because they were over cutting their teeth in the UK and touring around there, and maybe some parts of Europe or whatever. I think about Maiden comes to mind, Tank comes to mind, the late Algie Ward. I loved these guys as a kid, as a young teenager. So Tank would definitely be in that conversation. There's so many. It's hard for me to single any out. And if I could go back in time to that period, man, what a time it would have been to be at the Roadhouse over there in London, East London and whatnot, and seeing some of those bands. I envy those who were there, and I sometimes see comments about, seeing them. But, for sake of doing this, I just went with, Iron Maiden, and I'm using that as, one that's relatively more present because they're still active, albeit not with the members that they're still active. Let's just leave it at that. And of course, Metallica as well. Again, similar scenario, different lineup, than what I would prefer to see live. But I love them all. I like all their stuff. So, and then going back a little further, definitely, Hammer of the Gods. My God, if I know some of my buddies in the VC have seen these guys, and one I'm thinking about in particular saw them during this tour. This is on any given day my favorite Zeppelin album, but that is what's the proper word here? I reserve the right to change my mind in a moment's notice, because every Zeppelin album to me is I like them all. Some a little more than others, but definitely this would be near the top. And I don't rank albums. For those of you who have never seen my channel or whatever, and you're just maybe seeing me from Trini Metals, this thread, I don't do rankings. I find it really difficult and almost futile to do so because they change so frequently. So definitely would love to have seen Zeppelin live, probably around that time as well, 75. And then I had to throw these guys in because another one of my favorite drummers, favorite bands. I mean, when in the whole scope of thing, and early, Deep Purple. But again, I could have gone with Nazareth. I could have gone with Sweet. Some of the bands that were really in my early development of developing my love for hard rock. And there's so many. Budgie, anyway, I'm going to stop there because there's so many I could list. But you get the idea. Bands I would love to see and never had the opportunity, or I have seen but I'd love to see again. Those are some of them. So shout out 2 or more channels. So I'm going to go with, I'm just going to go with Craig over at the Spirit of Vinyl. I really dig Craig and the stuff that he presents. We have a lot in common, roughly the same age, I believe, within a couple of years anyway. A lot of the same tastes in music. And so I think we could really we've really spin a lot of the same records, just chilling and hanging out. So I'll go with Craig at the Spirit of Vinyl. And I'm going to go with somebody, that I watched a lot early on YouTube, and shame on me again. I don't watch nearly as often, but it's just the time that I have these days is so limited. But not just saying. Kim over at This Is Music. So he's over on the other side of the ocean, and I do enjoy watching some of Kim's content. Again, another headbanger. He shows a lot of stuff that is really in my wheelhouse. And hey, he's a huge Maiden fan as well. So I got to go with those guys. There's so many, as I've mentioned before, and in fact I just watched Doug over at the Auditory Vinyl do this thread, and Jeff over at Jeff's Mega Hard Rock. So a couple of guys that I watch and try to watch, and I mentioned Brian at Embryonic Robot. So all those I would give shout outs to, and I guess I just did. So that's all. I'm going to leave it at that. Sorry for the little interruptions here while I was doing the video. I just wanted to do one. I'm doing it by the seat of my pants, and I got to go out for a bike ride here to get in my daily cardio or whatever. I recently just made it to one of my targets was to hit 180 pounds. That's the first time I've been down to that in years, as I mentioned before. It's been a stressful period, and I think I was up around 210 there for a while. So getting back to for a guy who's just over 6 feet, 180 is about the weight I should be at, and I finally just hit that target. So that's awesome. Feel good about that. And I hope you are all doing good. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it. I really dig doing these kind of things. And I will get back to nobody's vault but mine and showing some of my pickups as soon as possible. But for now, I like doing these. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I met your criteria, Trini. All the best going forward. Here's to many more, at least another couple of 100 subs here this year. That's a reasonable target, isn't it? Cheers again, everybody. So everybody who watch my channel, head on over to Trini's channel, at least check him out, give him a sub, doesn't cost anything, and jump on here and submit one of your own threads or one of your own responses to the thread. And until the next time, take care everyone. I will see you again at that time, whenever that may be. Cheers everyone, bye.